Hi guys, I'm Doug.
And I'm Pat.
This is the first installment of our new series called the Doug and Pat Show Marketplace. As I mentioned in the last show that we did. In case you've never seen any of the shows, we do these shows about vintage instruments, pickups, amplifiers, vintage stuff because we're vintage and we like that stuff and have some of that stuff. And what the marketplace is we sort of thought that people, sometimes they contact us about vintage things, vintage pickups, vintage amps, and they want to know what we know about them. And we thought, well, why don't we just make it official? We'll just talk about that. And also it will be a marketplace where you might be looking for something that you want to buy. You might be looking for something that you want to sell. And maybe we can facilitate that. And then we have other things that we are going to be moving that we want to make you aware of so that we can open that conversation completely separate from our show. The contact information that you will use will be our email address, which is thedugandpatshow@gmail.com. And we will respond immediately to everything. I want to introduce Pat O'Donnell. The reason I'm introducing you is because that some people think that you can't speak. And I know that you actually were neutered somewhere, but I thought it was your throat, but not. Pat has been a guitar and amplifier dealer on your own since when I met him. And you're out there a lot of times?
Few years.
Few years. Yeah.
Yeah. Buying and selling a lot of stuff, and you got to remember this is way before internet and all that kind of stuff. So you had to go to stores and you had to go out in pawn shops and actually find stuff because it wasn't going to come to you. And the stuff that we're going to sell here, a lot of vintage stuff, but there's also some reissue things that we had bought for demo purposes. And some of them have got pickups changed in them, but put back to original. Very good shape, a lot of historic things, parts and pieces and speakers.
And you're out there all the time, aren't you?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
So that's a resource right there. So we mentioned in the other show that you can sell things like on Reverb and this and that. All these places charge a fee for that. So what we're thinking is, why don't we just have a conversation with you guys about what we have, what might be out there. You ask us, and maybe we can facilitate some stuff. That's why we call it the marketplace.
Right.
We're going to try and do this regularly. We're going to talk about maybe 4 or 5 things that we have that we know about that would be for sale now. The first show, we'll talk about 4 amplifiers that we have and see how it goes.
Yep. Let's do it.
So today we're going to talk about 4 amplifiers. We have a lot of amplifiers, and some of them we have like a huge amount. And especially, let's start with the Gibson GA-40. The Gibson GA-40 is the flagship of the fleet for Gibson amplifiers. It's called the Les Paul amplifier, and they made 4 versions of it. And you can go to our website, or you can go to YouTube and find our show on GA-40s. It tells you pretty much everything that you need to know about it. Because we have a lot of them, sometimes we need to thin the herd a little bit. In case, that's what we're going to do today.
Or get a bigger house.
Get a bigger house, which according to my wife's not an option, I guess.
Oh, well, she's a little,
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yes, we'll talk later.
The first amp that we're going to talk about is going to be Gibson GA-40 1956. And I'm going to run some pictures of it. These amplifiers or anything that we have actually in-house, we will do demos of for you. And you can contact us if you're interested in that. The 56, I'm going to look at a board here that has some stuff on it. The serial number on it is 54253. So we want to make sure that if you're interested in an amplifier and we do a demo on it, that the one we're doing the demo on is the one that you would get. The pod codes on it come in at early 56, meaning about February of 1956. They come with the P12Q Jensen speaker, which is our second favorite speaker that there is. Fabulous speaker. This one has a new handle, so the old ones disintegrate. They disintegrate whether you use them or not. We were at Bonamossa's house, and he had his display of mint Fender amplifiers. I mean, like mint, every one. And we're standing there talking to him, and he looks over and he goes, hang on a second. And one of them, the handle was torn. It's like they're in his house. Yeah. So how did that happen? They have a shelf life. They all have the original transformers, and they will be in various conditions cosmetically. The cabinets are made out of redwood, not pine. They're a little bit lighter, and also because in the GA-40, they have a different circuitry, let's say, than the Fender Deluxe, which was a competitor at the time.
Right.
So they use the same output tubes, 6V6 tubes, but the GA-40 has the 5879 preamp tube. They have one for each channel. In the case of the GA-40, they have a channel that has tremolo, and then they have one that doesn't have tremolo. 2 inputs for each channel. They sound, one channel is a little louder than the other, but they both sound amazing. We're huge fans of the 5879. So we have one of those, and then we actually have another one. And so we're going to be putting 2 of them up for sale, and we still have 3 more that we're not selling because we have a collection of them. The other one's also a 56, and its serial number is 54388. And Jensen P12Q. It's not the original speaker that came in the amp, which had the bell on it. That one was blown. But it is a 1956 P12Q in perfect condition. The pot codes also read early 1956. Also has a new handle on it. Original transformers. This one has the tremolo on it was hardwired. That means that it had a cable coming out of the amp that was soldered in through the chassis, and then it would run from whatever cable length you have. The foot switch is made out of wood. They all are made out of wood in those days. Almost look like...
Where did they come from?
Yeah, don't they look like the cutout from the horn of a Les Paul?
They do. They do.
They're very cool. This one, that switch was removed from there, and a jack was put on top, and it plugs into the top. Actually pretty convenient. Those 2 amplifiers we have, and we will do demos on them for people that are interested.
You know, to me, they're real musical sounding amplifiers. A lot more so than a deluxe. You know, Tweed Deluxes are great. You know, and they break up and they do all of this. But boy, there's something about big, fat, full chords on the
and chimey.
Yeah, on the GA-40s.
The GA-40 has a tone control that's very similar to a Vox. That is a JMI English-made Vox, where it goes from, if you turn it clockwise, it gets brighter and less bassy. And as you tune it counterclockwise, more bassy, less chimey. The chimey thing sounds very AC30 to me. Mm-hmm. That's a huge difference between that and the Deluxe. Very chimey, and it sounds fabulous whether you're playing a Tele through it, you're playing a Gibson through it. And on the demos, we'll be playing both of those guitars so you can kind of get an idea.
I play jazz through mine a lot.
Well, of course, that goes without saying. You still starting your day out with Shout Out of Your Smile?
I am. A lot of those chords, that have the numbers after them.
Oh.
Whatever
you have to
they may be.
Forget the number.
Yeah, well, because I don't know where this number is supposed to go in that damn thing.
Well, I mean, if it says like C11, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, the 11th fret.
Oh, I never knew that. Thank you for that.
9th fret, you want to play a G9, you play a 9th fret.
Yeah, like a G1, first fret.
Yeah.
Okay. No charge for that, guys. The shipping totals on these amplifiers, got this in the Gibson Garage, which is a great resource for stuff. In 1956, they made 957 of these amplifiers. Considering the fact that they were the Les Paul amplifier, that doesn't sound like very many amps.
That's right.
I also don't think that many of these amplifiers have survived. And the reason I think that, Fender amplifiers really, they were always popular. And it seems like Gibson amplifiers weren't as popular for a long time, and a lot of them just ended up going away. We've seen a lot of them that were in pretty bad shape. These two are actually in really good shape. Cabinets are in really good shape. You know who was using a GA-40 back in 61, 62?
Donny Osmond.
Pretty close. George Harrison.
Oh.
Playing at the Cavern Club.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was playing a tweed, like so a fourth version
60, 61.
61 GA-40.
Huh.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Well, if George did it.
George says it sounds quite great. The cabinets are interesting because they're actually sloped back. So they're also that two-tone thing, as you see from the pictures. Very cool, very 50s looking. It's its own thing. The controls are on top. This one has, the 56s have the painted control plate. Later on, they went to the chrome one, like what they make things now. So it looks really,
Yeah,
really
the graphics on them are really cool.
really great. The third amplifier is going to be the younger brother of the GA-40 called the GA-20T. The T means it has tremolo, like the GA-40 has tremolo. On the GA-20, it also has a 12-inch speaker, smaller cabinet, same tube configuration as the GA-40, except it only has one 5879 in the tremolo side, 2 inputs per each channel, same sort of tone thing. It came with a P12R, which is a cheaper speaker. Jensen, it's a good sounding speaker, but it's not a P12Q.
No.
I changed it out to a P12Q. If you want a P12R, I'll put a P12R in it. To me, that's going in the wrong direction. An amazing amplifier. All three of these amplifiers have been checked out by our tech guy in Portland here, Brian Sowers, who unfortunately is not doing amplifier repairs anymore because he's got a huge business doing custom transformers.
Transformers, yeah.
Yeah, he took a look at all three of these and did some adjustments on them, filter caps, the AC cords, so they're all been tweaked by Brian. And one more.
Maybe a Vox?
Correcto. This is a Vox AC4. This is an original JMI, made in England AC4. It's not a reissue. We covered this amplifier in our vintage practice amp show. It's really cool. The controls are mounted on a board that slides out of it. It has the original ELAC speaker, and it has tremolo. With the very cool, is a picture of it, tremolo foot switch.
And you've had it a while, haven't you?
I got that
It's
amplifier.
his own personal thing.
1984, I got that amplifier. It sounds great. It's also a pretty cool pedal platform because all these amplifiers actually are. They all sound great. Use your pedals with them, an overdrive or reverb or whatever you want to add. They come alive a lot more than a sterile sounding amplifier.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a back plate on it. Well, it does, but when I got it, it didn't have the back plate on it, which had the little Fox plate that said AC4. That's gone. But I replaced it with another one that has the same Tolex on it. And there are serial numbers inside the amplifier, stamped in as long as AC4. They identify the transformers as being AC4. This is a very, very cool amplifier. Very, very, very simple.
Very portable. Very, very fun.
It's heavy.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's like it's a great amp. It's made hardy. So
Well, it's made every bit as good as the AC30s or any of the bigger amps. You know, they did it right, and the cosmetics as far as the grill cloth and the beading and stuff around they're cool.
I'm not sure if it's a 64, 65. I'm thinking it's a 65. It has the control plate is brown, but there's no dating on it. There's no date on the ELAC speaker either, which is also an English speaker and it's original. So 64, 65, no newer than that. Pretty cool, huh?
It's really cool. Yeah.
So if you are interested in any of those, and we can get the conversation going, you can write us here at the Doug and Pat Show at gmail.com. We can send demos to you, photos to you, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to have a lot of other stuff. Just off the top of your head, Pat, you can do that. What are some other things about guitars?
Well, like I said, there's a lot of custom shop Les Pauls, some Stratocasters. There's then get into some of the vintage stuff. Just have to figure out the prices that are fair. You know, the juniors, Les Paul specials, a couple of those. You've seen most of these guitars on different episodes of the show.
Yeah.
So you'll see what they look like and what they do sound like. You know, like I was saying before, there's, you know, we've got some other speakers, separate speakers, speaker cabinets.
Hard to find stuff that we've vetted. That is, we wouldn't have it if it wasn't good. Believe me.
Yeah.
The only reason we would be moving it would because we have many of them. In the case of R9s or R7s or things, these are just guitars that Pat's picking up. He's trading, isn't that right? And you're doing stuff with them. When we have vintage pickups, I mean, all kinds of stuff that you would know would be coming from us, and it would be quality stuff. We check it all out.
Yep. And you know, it comes a time when your wives say, "How many guitars do you have?"
And then we say 10.
Yeah. And they say, "Well, okay, that's 10 in that closet." Who owns the 10 under the bed?
And then the other question is, Pat, do you really need more than 10 guitars?
I do. And I just say, well,
do you need more than 50 guitars?
I say, these don't belong to me. These are Doug's, and we're just storing them in my house.
Storing them. Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff, and like Doug says, cool stuff. You know, and there's really no junk in any of it.
No.
So
no. We will be putting together a list of stuff. It will be changing all the time as things come, as things go. And you can also let us know if you're looking for something. Pat can be looking around for it. He's talking to a lot of people all the time.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of people's places that have got a couple of hundred guitars out in their garages, you know, and all the stuff is for sale. So just let us know what you want, and we'll find it for you and get you a price.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's the Doug and Pat Show Marketplace, and we're starting today. So this is official, and you can check back with us if you're interested in anything, like we just said, and we will send you information on it.
It's like a one-stop shopping center.
Yes, I think that's good. It goes along with the marketplace. It comes together like this in a marketing thing.
It's too bad Billy Gibbons isn't still alive, because
yeah.
I'm sure he would be buying a lot of this
Yeah,
stuff.
if Billy was still alive, he would probably be here right now helping us introduce the show.
He would.
But Billy's not here for an obvious reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all know what that is. If you've seen the show, you'll know.
Yeah, we know what that is, don't we? Well, that's all we got for right now.
For now.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll try to make this a regular thing. I hope to hear from you. I'm Doug.
And I'm Pat.
See you next time.
Bye.